Alright, so starting out on this, y'all gonna be mad at me for this one because I've done a lot of work off camera, just trucking along. Still need to finish bleeding the brakes. I can't get much more out of it with the tool I have, so I just kind of took a break on it. I got the new tires. They are ready to go, so I need to finish the brakes and get those on there. I need the tire off anyway because some stuff underneath to work on. But let's see. The big things, a big elephant in the room is the oil cooler is on. I got the steel braided lines from my buddy, so they're on now. Cooler's on down there. Radiator's on. Got the cork support radiator. Got hoses on. Still got a couple to work out, but more so just getting stuff in place. Got the new fuel filter on, new fuel lines, the hard line down to the bottom, coming up. So we're doing the rat's nest delete, and the more I looked into it, the more it looks like it's just easier to take it completely out of the way and start from scratch. Found a couple sources of people who've done it. Of course, every forum is like, hey, I want to do a rat's nest delete on S5, and they're like, don't do it. It's, it ruins all this, blah blah blah. Like, can you just like give me the information I asked for? Of course not. Oh, I didn't realize that didn't go all the way in, so I'll have to get a new bolt for that. But working out the fuel lines now. So we got the filter down here. Of course, the mounts for that were broken, but there was a hole that went through the frame. I just used that with a long bolt. That worked out pretty nice. Fuel line coming up here to the rail, from the rail to this rail, and now I got to do the return line. But of course, I don't have enough hose left for that, so I got to run out and get some more hose here shortly. But yeah, but more or less that, I can start working out vacuum lines and where they're going, and I got some diagrams for that too, and still got to figure out where all these wires go, and obviously like a bunch of them are going to be eliminated, like all these multicolored ones down here. They're for solenoids that go to the rat's nest, so those are going to be taped off to the side, kind of tucked away. Just a bunch of little wires here and there. My buddy Dave, who's been helping out with everything, he does have another engine he just pulled out of a junkyard car, so we're probably going to try to use that as a reference for some of these plugs and connections and all that. I don't know how he pulled it off the car, so we'll see what we have. But yeah, just getting more and more put on here. Obviously with more of the intake, put them on, and the injectors and stuff. It's kind of helping to locate the harness and how it's supposed to run, which in turn just locates more and more of what needs to go where. But yeah, just lots of little things kind of coming up to the big stuff. Closer and closer to the engine being ready to fire. I did also make the starter wire, so I got it running from this block here, which is actually just controlled by the one at the battery, not controlled here. Just the way it angled was much better, easier. I was able to use the last scrap of red cable I had, and it goes down there to the starter just fine. I can move it around a little bit if I want to have it orient a little bit differently, but as of right now, where it's sitting is where it's going to stay. Yeah, just little things. Honestly, if I connected the battery right now, I could turn it over and just listen to it. Yeah, I'm not going to do all that. I don't know what else is going to come up, so I'm going to keep the battery disconnected for now. But yeah, once I get some more done, I'll bring you back. If there's anything interesting to watch, I'll certainly have that filmed real time. But most of it's just kind of boring and just working. Lots of figuring it out, so lots of standing around looking at pictures and everything else. Alright, so I was able to order the hose, got it delivered today. So I got the fuel system finished, so I'm not going to bolt it in now because the top's coming off. But we got these two lines here. This is the return. That's the feed. Go ahead and pop this out of the way. Only thing holding on is this stupid stud. Alright. So we got the feed going all the way back down there. Or this one's the return. Going all the way back. And we got this here. Like I said, we're just getting rid of the rat's nest, which is, you know, usually got hard line there between the center. Let's see if we come over here. You can see like these right here are the fuel lines, return and feed, flip-flop. So a big chunk of that does turn to hard line. But we just kicked all that out, so don't have to worry about that. It's all just brand new hose. Real easy. Let's say got these tucked away earlier. Those aren't needed. Got the injector plugs there. This broke. I have no idea what that's for. Coolant temperature one's plugged in. Just more and more of just figuring out where stuff's gonna go. I got my vacuum caps. Got my vacuum line. So I think I'm gonna try to tinker around with the vacuum system and see if I can figure out what needs to be plugged in, what doesn't need to be plugged in, and we'll go from there. Alright, working on the RX-7 today. Kind of figured I'd pause for a moment where I was at and give y'all an update. Working out the vacuum lines, working out some of the plugs. Got the intake in, got the injector plugged in, just kind of finding what else I need to plug in along the way and what vacuum lines to plug in, where stuff goes. Like this can go here, I can move that plug, put that there. Piecing together the breathers, the air valves and all that, so that should almost be ready to go on there. But yeah, just a quick update as I'm kind of putting things together, trying to find where stuff goes and work it all out, and hopefully in the next couple days or so I'll be able to at least turn the key, hear it rotate, if not get it to bark off as I figure everything else out as well. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as I come along, any major steps taken. Say a lot of it's just guesswork as far as some of these vacuum lines. They got rid of the whole rat's nest and most of it looks like I don't need it, so just, you know, one thing at a time. Alright, do some exciting stuff here. Alright, so this is just temporary in here, just so I can plug in the sensor. Not that it really matters because I'm not necessarily trying to start it right now. But intake's on. Most of the vacuum lines I know I need are on, as far as I'm aware at least. Not that it really matters. Alternator's on, belt's on, plugged in. I can't find the plug for that, so I have to keep looking and see where that's at. Otherwise, I've found a lot of the important plugs, I think. Definitely some stuff not plugged in. It's kind of hard to tell too, because some of this wire is from the chassis, and this was a turbo car, and it's NA, so like I know there's a sensor for oil pressure or something I have just kind of pushed off to the side. But I think the sensor's actually over here on the driver's side of the car, so it might be flip-flopped. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But about the oil in it, I got the battery connected, but I had both of my breakers still off. I'm getting ahead of myself here before the oil went in, and I'm just gonna try to rotate it. I pulled the spark plugs out, so we're gonna free spin. There might be a wire I need to put on the starter. I guess I'll find out here in a second. I just don't feel like going to the ground until I have to. Just gonna put this whole thing in here because I still have to fill the oil cooler, so I'll probably need more, but this will definitely do it for what we're doing right now. So that's on. Check the level, make sure I just didn't overfill it. Never, well, I pulled the stick before. Should definitely have been empty. Not anymore though. Beautiful. Full. I'll check it again once I crank it a couple times, fill the filter and fill the cooler and all that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pop the breaker near the battery real quick. I mean, realistically, I actually should only have to turn that one on because it powers the starter. So, I'm actually just going to try to turn the key now. Side note, I did find out that I think this is the wrong throttle cable. I think this might be for a turbo. Way too long. Let's see what happens when I turn the key. I got absolutely nothing on the key, so I'm going to flip the breaker up here. Hope nothing burns. Alright, there's smoke. Probably have to push the clutch in. Alright, so I got nothing right now. I'm going to go ahead and check some wires and then come back. Alright, so we went down the rabbit hole and trying to figure out power. So I'm not getting any power to the spade connector at the starter. If I put a screwdriver on the starter, I can get the starter to spin. I did spin it for a second. So engine does turn over. I spent way too long just kind of digging through Google and stuff like that, figuring out this starter setup. So I have power coming out of the switch. I have power going all the way up here to the security block. This is where I ended off here. It's kind of burned out. Plus I need to confirm if it goes through this first or through the clutch interlock first, because clutch engaged or not, it has a signal there. Has power there, but only with the key turned. So definitely have power here. Now I just need to figure out where it's coming or going from here. I imagine it's going to be going from here, since the clutch interlock's inside. It wouldn't come out and then back in, you would think. So this should be the last stop before it gets to that spade connector. They are known to go bad. So, like, there's, broken wire possibly. Pretty sure that's the harness I had apart originally. It's part of this harness, right? Yeah, so this part of the harness I had disconnected. Might be part of this wire, actually. Huh. Maybe. Possibly. Probably not. Either way, I'm gonna look through some manuals and just kind of confirm the wiring diagram, But I am done, spent, tired, dehydrated. So I'm gonna get out of the garage for the night. I've been in here for the last 5-6 hours, just kind of going nonstop. But I think I have everything really connected that's needed to start it. Once I figure out the starter issue, and worst case, I could get a jumper and just do it by hand until I figure that circuit out. Bonsai Racing makes a kit to basically hook a relay to that instead of using the factory wiring, and all you need is the connection, which I can pull it from this relay because this is useless to me otherwise. So I have some options. Try to get to work correctly, and if I can't get to work correctly, I'll make it work, just like everything else in this car. But with that, that's what we're gonna call it. Not the end of the video, just the end of today. I'll be back in here probably tomorrow morning with some with some knowledge. Once I need to go pick up some parts or something, I can just buy a relay instead of getting that kit and wire it out myself. But what will be a day for me will be seconds for you. Alright, next day for me, next second for you. Alright, so I went through, last night I was looking at all the wiring diagrams and everything. Confirmed the routing. So the security switch here would have been the last spot it should have hit before I went to the wire that went to the starter. Confirm the wire for the starter, made sure that was the right one. For some reason it only gets 2 volts. But that happens with the key on. It's kind of weird. But either way, so just made a new wire. I'll have to clean it up and make it look nice here when I'm done. But was able to get it ran down there, and now the key works. It turns over. Go ahead and check the spark here. So you'll come along on this. So watch the camera. Let me know if you see some spark. Get you set up. Hopefully this works. Not really a good spot. There we go. That should hopefully be enough. Zoom you in here, and we'll see what happens. Alright, not sure if you could see it, but I can actually see it from inside. We got spark, so got oil in it, got spark. Thinking I'm gonna toss some fuel in it and see what happens. I'll have to listen for the fuel pump here in a second too. I'll do that real quick. I'll make sure the air intake is kind of all the way on back there. And because I know it uses some kind of airflow to make the fuel pump work, so we'll see what happens and go from there. Alright, spark plugs are back in, MAP sensors connected, all the vacuum lines I think I need are in, intake sitting on here, the airflow meter's plugged in. We verified spark. I just put fuel in, and I guess we're just gonna head and breathe on the key here and see if we can't get this thing to bark off. Can't run it long. It doesn't have any coolant in it, and I need to double check the oil after I get it to actually turn over for a minute. But we're gonna see what happens when I turn that key. I'm gonna check my fuel lines, make sure I don't have any leaks. Something else I just wanted to do here. I forgot a second. Oh, I could see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this. I think I figured out the actual routing for this, so I'm gonna go try to put this on real quick. Alright, a little bit of update. So I'm able to jump this to bypass the airflow meter. It's supposed to have 12 volts on that. I'm not getting it, which means I'm not getting 12 volts back here at the plug either. I did use the probe and I got the pump to run, so the pump will run, but for some reason I'm not getting the signal for that to get power. So now I gotta once again delve down the rabbit hole of wiring diagrams and figuring it out, and hoping it's not related to the issue I'm having with the starter as well. I was having with the starter. But yeah, either way, I'm not getting power to the pump. I did pressurize it maybe, so I might be able to try to bark it off. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna go dig down the rabbit hole and start figuring out the wiring and see where we go. But I will update you. Alright, bringing in for another update. So, tracing wires and checking everything. I was getting power to the opening relay. It's under the dash. After I checked the power there, I went to the ceramic resistor. I was not getting any power to the ceramic resistor with the key on, and everything jumped, and when I should have. So I just went in and jumped the relay. I was able to get power there with the AFM dropped and the relay jumped under the dash. I do got the fuel pump. Trying to crank it, but it is not yet starting. Didn't really try to mess with the throttle yet. The cable's not really on there, doesn't work. So I gotta either try to figure out how to make that work, or grab a kid and have them crank it while I mess with the throttle. We'll have to see what happens, but just kind of starting there. We'll see how far else I get. Alright, next day, and I have some updates. So after the last clip, my buddy actually stopped by when he got off work, and we tried to do some digging. As you can see, the intake's back off. Kind of a lot of stuff just moved around. But yeah, so basically where we're at with everything is turned out we weren't getting power to the injectors. On top of that, we did a fuel pressure test because during it was getting like 70 pounds of pressure. Found out that the return line was clogged, so we blew out the return line. That's now got a leak in it, so I have to fix that at some point. But for now, I have a nice return hose down here. We'll just run it like that. We'll get it started once I get it going. But as far as the reason, turns out when I put the ECU in wiring, there was an orange connector up under the dash, way up there, that I had missed. That and another connector. So those are plugged in now. I just dropped something into the ether. That's lovely. That was a hose. Good. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna get everything put together, and then we're gonna try it out. And once we have it running, I will probably work backwards with the starter and see if we can't get the starter to work like normal again. If not, we know how to fix it, and I can just clean that up and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work, and then I'll bring you back once there's something to look at. Alright, so engine's back together. I actually left the doors and stuff open last night without the charger, so it actually died. I guess it just fell off right now. But here we go. Sounds kind of ugly, but she's running under her own power right now, so I gotta check everything out, make sure I didn't leave anything loose. Make sure everything's plugged in, running, but she's good now. Just gotta figure everything else out, do some other things, fix the return and a bunch of other stuff. But it's probably gonna be it for this video. Like, subscribe if you want to see some more. Once again, it's going to be back to the tedious stuff. Kind of get things working, making it run a little better. There's probably a vacuum leak or something somewhere. Obviously the intake's off and, you know, a bunch of other crap. But she's running. Less than a year from when I got her, and she's running. I'll start working on finishing the coolant line so I can get coolant in it and actually let it run a little longer, and well, like I said, once again, figure out why she's kind of choppy. Might be battery, because she still needs to charge more. A little weak spark or weak fuel pump or something. So I don't think the fuel pump got too high, but that's all stuff I'm going to look into, and I'll get back to you guys.